Yeah. So, bring us up. Nancy, if you want, or the deputy clerk will swear everybody in.
You'll be speaking for your hearing. Please stand and raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Before I go through the rules, just so everybody knows, this is being broadcast. This is open on the internet for the public to view. So if you don't want people to know something, you should probably be careful in what you say. With that being said, under Idaho Code 63501, the Board of County Commissioners are required to convene as the Board of Equalization. We are here to determine the market value under Idaho Code 63205, which states that all real, personal, and operating property subject to property taxation must be assessed annually at market value for assessment purposes as of 12:01 a.m. on the first day of January in the year in which such property taxes are levied. Furthermore, under Idaho Code 63502, the function of the Board of Equalization shall be confined strictly to assuring that market value for assessment purposes of property has been found by the assessor and to the functions provided for in Chapter 6, Title 63, Idaho Code relating to the exemptions from taxation. The taxpayers shall have the burden of proof in seeking affirmative relief to establish that the determination of the assessor is erroneous. A preponderance of the evidence shall suffice to sustain the burden of proof. We are here to discuss the market value of the property, the condition of the property, the state or information that is relevant to this topic, and this is fact, not opinion. We are not here to discuss taxes, past grievances, policy, personal income, or other issues. If you do not stick to the discussion as requested, your time will be reclaimed. The hearing structure. The appellant or the property owner will have 3 minutes. After that 3 minutes, questions from the assessor table will come through the board. The assessor will have 3 minutes. Questions from the appellant can come back through the board at that time, and then we'll take about 2 minutes and have a discussion of closings to determine what's going to happen here. The rules. Please be kind. 2, direct all questions and comments to the board. It's not a discussion between you two, it's a discussion with the board. If your conduct is out of line, you will be warned, and if your conduct continues to be out of line, you will be asked to leave. With that being said, if you'll go ahead and introduce yourself, and we'll go ahead and start your 3 minutes.
I'm Cindy Smith, reside at 635 East Hayden Street. I purchased this house August 21st of 2006. I've done no improvements on it. It's an infill lot on an alley. There's no yard. There's no room for a garage. There's been no updates. The basement is unfinished. In 2020, the lot was $9,695. Then last year it went up to $17,250, and you're saying that it's proposed at $28,898. At the most it should be is maybe $18,000 or maybe $19,000 on the lot. I mean, it's a very, very small lot. And like I said, I've done no improvements on the house. So for the house to go up from 165 to 214,773, or, you know, I mean, I just feel like that's too high for the size of the house and the size of the lot.
Is that where you rest? Is there questions coming back from the assessor's table?
She says she has 0 basement finish.
There's no basement finished. It's not finished at all.
So when you walk downstairs, you see concrete, or do you see studs with insulation and sheetrock?
You see studs with insulation.
Is your ceiling hung, or do you look up and do you see floor joists?
Floor.
Okay, so
Floors.
lights are on like pull chain?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah, there's been absolutely nothing done in the basement.
so there's no wall coverings, no floor coverings, no anything?
No.
Okay,
If you want to come look, you can come look.
all right.
I was just clarifying because we do show some finish, so if we needed to adjust that.
Okay, you have 3 minutes to your table?
It's noted that we have already added 2 negative influences to the land for the size and the area that it sits. So it is already been adjusted from prior BOE decisions. They also noted that the price per square foot looks a little higher due to that fact. She does, excuse me, the parcel at 635 East Hayden is a one-story home built in 2006, 966 square feet on the main, 952 in the basement. We were showing 476 of that finished, so we probably need to adjust that.
Can you go ahead and, can you adjust that now, or do we need to do a calculation to do that?
So what we normally do would put a minimal for the insulation, so I can adjust that.
Okay.
That would bring it in at 197,360 for the improvement, plus the land would be a total of 226,258.
Okay.
And you show the land value at 50 or 28, 8.
28,898. That looks like it's been adjusted with negative influences from prior BOEs that we left on.
From last year's BOE, where we adjusted for the infill? Okay. Do you have any questions back to the assessor's table?
I just don't see how it can be $28,898 for the lot.
Because people are willing to pay it right now. That's simply, even though it's a small lot, it's a home building site. So whether it's a small lot or big lot, we had a very lengthy discussion with the last appellant last hour. People are willing to buy a lot that small because they can build a house on it, and that's what they've done. And what you're seeing is your house right now. We have had several of them in that 900 square foot range that have come in, and they are all higher than yours right now. And so my question was just on the basement adjustment, and if we've made the adjustment, the basement's there, we've already had negative influences placed on the land. I would say that the adjustment price of that 226 is probably where it sits in.
I concur. So, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPPOC 176000, I make a motion that we adjust the value of the property to 226,258, and that is to be reflected off of the improvements.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there further discussion or any other motions? All in favor?
Aye.
What has happened, we have lowered your property. We didn't come down to what you wanted, but we didn't keep it where the assessor wanted it. So what that gives both of you the ability to appeal to the Board of State Tax Appeals or to the District Court. You will receive in writing in the next 2 to 3 weeks a letter indicating what has happened here today. When you receive that letter, if you so choose to go to the Board of State Tax Appeals or to the District Court, you may pick that form up in the clerk's office, which is located in the office directly behind that wall, and they'll have instructions on how to proceed with that. Other than that, at this time, I'll consider this hearing closed.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, next. If you guys want to, James and Bonnie. I hope you don't have a 5,000 square foot pool house, I'm just saying.
It's 4.
It's for.
It's a watering trough.
Oh. Okay, if you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourself and go ahead and begin, your 3 minutes start now.
I'm James Shaw, and
Bonnie Shaw.
basically, we have a 1904 farmhouse, craftsman-style farmhouse, and we did a remodel, get rid of the knob and tube wiring, et cetera, in 1979 and 80. We've not made any improvements since then, except for a new roof after the big fire in the Mink Creek area. That's the only improvement we've made in the house. It's a very inefficient house. We've left a lot of the old windows and doors because of the historical value. It was homesteaded actually in 1904. I bought the house in 1973 for $20,000. Basically, the improvements are paintbrush and sweat equity. And that's, we feel like we're being penalized for keeping the place looking nice and taking care of it, because it's being compared to these nice homes that are being built out in the Mink Creek area now that are, $600,000 to $1 million. And this is not a house that falls in that category. It's very inefficient. I get a report from Idaho Power almost every 6 months. This is from January 1 to March 31 of 2022. We used 117% more electricity than a house comparable size because of inefficiency. We did put insulation in when we remodeled, of course, but there's only so much you can do with an old house and old windows and doors. It does not have a finished basement. Matter of fact, it was a hand-dug basement, and you have to kind of, if you're tall, you got to bend over in the basement. But that's where the
Point of clarification,
Yes.
hand-dug basement is the original 1905 structure. Is it earth and wood, or is it on concrete foundation?
It was hand-dug, and then they poured concrete in layers. So
Okay, so it's a
it is
Okay.
on a foundation.
just a
yeah.
point of clarification, because
Right,
that
it
can
is on
have
a
some
foundation.
issues.
Anyway, I don't, I just feel that the house is being compared inappropriately to, the modern homes that have 6-inch walls and are energy efficient. I don't know that I have a whole lot of other things to add but, the assessment went up basically almost 73% this year for the value of the net taxable value of the improvements in the 1.6 acres that it sits on.
Okay. You there?
Yeah.
You had some time left. I don't want to cut you off.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I think we realize the values are going up, certainly with all the building out there, but it seems like a big jump in that short period of time, and for a house that's not really comparable. So,
Okay. Assessor's table, a quick question. There was not a property card in this one. Typically, there's at least a property card. So could you, as you go through this, could you just describe the size of the property and where we're at? Okay.
I did have one question before we start.
Uh,
So they have 0 basement finish?
Yes.
Is that correct? You have 0
Yes.
basement finish?
Yeah.
'Cause we
You can see the floor joist. I put some Tyvek up there to try to make it more efficient, but other than that.
Okay.
Could they provide pictures or?
Yeah, can you show that? Do you have it shown as finished, or is it,
We have it shown as finished.
It's not finished.
how many square feet in the basement is shown as finished then?
1,400?
1430,
So you show it 100% finished?
that's what we have in
And it's 0% finished?
No, the old walls, the old concrete, which has big rocks in it,
Mm-hmm.
we put more concrete over it when we remodeled, just to smooth the surface. and
So you
that's
stuck
it.
with the inside of the wall?
Yeah.
So, I'll just describe this for a second, make sure we're good. So when you go downstairs, they're pull chain,
Yes?
insulation on the walls,
No,
so concrete bare.
concrete bare,
And
yes.
there's an open space to the crawl space.
Yeah, there's
So
there's part of it's crawl space.
Yeah.
The basement is not the size of the entire house.
Yeah, because you probably had, the 1905 was probably on pillars.
It had a coal furnace when I bought it, a stoker-matic and a coal bin, and that's what was in the basement. you know.
So have you poured a new concrete floor, or is it still dirt floor?
We had to add 14 feet of, 14 feet long and about, 10 feet wide, a foundation, because we added some size to the porch.
But that under there is unfinished as well?
Unfinished as well, yeah.
Okay.
What will that do to it? Are you working on that? Okay.
I put shelves in there for tools and I have a little work area there, but,
Storage.
yeah. Well, and the furnace is down there, but it's,
But you have no, and this is, so there's not even insulation on the walls?
No.
So there's not even a,
and it's all electric. When we redid things, that was the most reasonable way to go out there. You know, so it's all electric.
If they do that value, we can just save it. So that would bring it down to 407,314, removing all basement finish except for a tiny bit for the concrete floor.
David, what was the 407?
314.
And that's total with land value? Okay.
So you're only losing 20,000?
It's not really, it's a 1904 and we put it up against older homes. We don't put it up against the newer homes. So it has 2,561 square feet above grade, and then we have the 1,430 in the basement, so
2,500 up?
2,561, yeah,
Okay.
on the above grade, because it's a two-story home.
What's so the life you're showing on the house is you're showing it's an older house, you're not
Yeah, we're
classifying?
showing a
Okay.
1904 home.
Could you just describe for the process of how you evaluate houses by age?
We have different age groups, categories that we put them into based on like pre-1950 to 1950, 1950 to 1985, I believe, and 1986 and newer. Then it goes into the square feet, what kind of finish is in there, how many bathrooms, fixtures, and so forth. Based on that year, it's either an average, a fair, or whatever. This looks like it would be an average home,
Okay.
or maybe even possibly above average for a 1904 home. So that would bring the value up a little bit higher.
So question from my understanding then, as the appellant raised the question of there are obviously newer houses that are
yeah,
being built out there.
definitely.
Would this house have been compared with those houses?
No, we have that category that separates those
If it,
out. Right?
a follow-up then, if it would have been compared to that house, what would it have done to the value?
Probably brought it in a lot higher, probably closer to 600,000.
If you look at the online tools, 536,
Okay.
Yeah.
467.
So this is graded then in the 1905 and for the add-on, and we're showing no basement finish. So we're
Right,
showing.
exactly.
Okay. All right. I'm good then.
So if we do that, that takes it to leave the land where it's at.
What was it? And that total was 407,
407,
314 for everything.
For everything.
Okay.
Oh, that 407 included the land? Oh, all right. I definitely feel better about that. So, okay, Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we adjust the land value on parcel R, or excuse me, on parcel RPR 401-302-5600, that we adjust the value to 407,314 with the change coming off of the improvements.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Is there further discussion or any other motion? All in favor? Aye. We've made an adjustment. I would ask that in the future, if you have the ability to have an assessor come out and look at your property, especially with unfinished basements and stuff like that, in those older homes, that's always a good thing. A lot of people think it's automatically going to jack your price of your house up, and a lot of times that's actually not the case, because there are things like this that are special to these older houses.
Yeah.
We've made an adjustment. It gives both tables the ability to appeal to the State Tax Commission or to the District Court. You'll be notified in 2 to 3 weeks on our decision here of what's occurred in writing. At that time, if you wish to go forth, you can get those documents from the clerk's office and file it at that point. If there's nothing further, I would consider this hearing closed then.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
And I know where your house is, and it's a cool house. I mean, you drive by, I mean, that's,
I was gonna say,
it's a cool
I was
house.
gonna say the same thing, it's a beautiful home.
It's a cool house.
Yes, it is. So Cindy Smith was a no-show.
No, yep, so we can
No,
go,
Cindy Willard.
Or Cindy
Smith
Weller.
was here.
Cindy Smith was here, that was.
Oh, that's right, it was Cindy Willard. I was just starting alphabetically with Cindy Willard.
It said that she was going, could have possibly been represented by a Kim Welch. And it's on Lucky. And it looks like we adjusted that a little bit.
You did make an adjustment?
Yeah, on the Willard one, yeah, on Cindy Willard.
So, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPRCMIN 0004000, the assessor has a corrected value of $160,866.
Okay, there's motion on the floor. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Smith, Weller, Ferguson? Jeremy Ferguson?
We did not have any changes on this one.
Okay.
It doesn't look like they submitted any.
They did not
Parcel
submit
viewers.
anything.
Okay. I don't say anything out of the ordinary.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPTVS 0001000, make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
There's motion on the floor. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Patrick Taylor.
Yep. Patrick Taylor.
Oh, I just put this one in really quick. I was trying to, but it didn't. I didn't put it. Patrick Taylor. They had proposed a land value adjustment to 110,690, and then put some of the other remaining into right-of-way waste. So for next year, I'm assuming, or maybe that was putting that into the.
Is that 35 acres? Is that farmed ground, or what is that?
No, it's surrounded by railroad.
Well, even though it's
Ladder rock,
even though I mean,
wall.
is it they use it as graze ground? What do they do with it?
They haven't submitted an application to
Okay.
our knowledge.
All right, no, that's fine then. That's you know, if you're not going to use it, and that's just the way it is, and you're using it to stand off on.
And then it said that they adjusted the improvement value as well. It was originally
We have a half-acre buildable.
788 down to 89,636 for condition. I think they went out and did a re-inspect on this one
Okay.
in person, so.
So what were those values again?
So the land would come down to 110,690. The improvement would be 89,636 for a total. 200,326. Let me just double check the math and do it twice, just to make sure. Yeah, 20,326 would be the total.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay. Do you have the total for what they're looking for?
What was that? Was that two? What was it? 200?
200,326.
Okay,
Total.
yep, 2,326.
Okay, Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 405-700-9603, I make a motion that we accept the appraiser's or the assessor's adjustment for value to $200,326.
Okay, there is a motion on the floor. Further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
That's a very fair adjustment on that one.
Yep.
Yeah, they went out and did an on-site.
Well, and the
Yeah.
problem is the land, and like you said,
I
it is,
just pulled it up, and it's half of it's in the lava rocks across the.
I mean, you can still use it to graze on, and that's really, if they were smart, they'd go graze it, but
Not necessarily where they're at. Those lava rocks are not grazable on that.
you're missing my point.
Yeah.
You want to graze it, right? For a week,
Yes, you do.
You're gonna graze it.
You do.
You wanna graze that.
But as a youth, I have walked that section of
Yes.
lava rocks, and
It's not very much living out there.
no.
Terry Jensen and Stan Hansen, 4604 Burley Drive. Property card is for 6150 South 5th, Pocatello, Idaho. Assessment was set at $901,780. Taxpayers' opinion of value is $678,150. Mr. Ricker.
The appellant's primary concern was the change in the land value, and out on South Fifth and that whole corridor, we worked to bring all of the commercial properties onto a commercial land schedule. Out there, I believe the standard out there is right now $2 a square foot, and so that's what caused the jump in the land value this year.
Okay.
And we did have an increase in the improvement value, but in the appellant's stuff, they actually said that they agreed with that.
So, the commercial ground out there, you're doing $2 per square foot for undeveloped dirt, or is that developed ground?
Either. Just the
flat
bare
dirt.
land value.
And that's the stuff that's bordering South Fifth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
So-
we've seen values.
So you're saying 84,000 an acre is what we're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Seems reasonable. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 401-300-6000, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
There is a motion on the floor. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's just see here as we go through that. All right. There's that one. Let me make sure we've got all of the 9 o'clock ones then are good.
That was it.
I was showing a James Shaw. Oh, that's why. Never mind. It was listed as James and Bonnie on that one. Okay, never mind. And then a Rick Poole was listed, and it's not listed in the 9 o'clock packet online, but it's showing it here. Has that one been? Anybody have that?
I see that on the schedule.
What's the parcel number?
It does. I just have a name.
He canceled?
Okay. Strike that. Then our 9 o'clock is concluded, or 10 o'clock concluded. Excuse me.
Okay.
And let's move on to admins.
Go LLC is next on the list.
Let's go LLC.
Yep.
Okay.
And I'm able to speak to the first 3 commercial ones, then I believe Josh is able to speak to the residential ones. Do you guys have a particular parcel you want to start on?
I was just going to go with the ones that were just listed in the packets. And
Starts in 1401 is the first one, or ends in 1401.
RPR 385 1021 1401. The assessor's market opinion of value is $876,446. The appellant is requesting a value of $556,738. Current location is 8132 Prospector. Current condition of this house dramatically affects its value. The owner provides comparable sales data to establish a more equitable square foot value. See attachments and conditions evaluation. So are they showing are you guys showing a ag exemption on this property?
Sorry, which parcel number is it?
This is
Ending
the one ending in, where'd it go? 1401. It's 8132 Prospector.
It's up on the hilltop all by itself.
Yep.
in, let me double check that. That's the 155 acres, right?
I believe so.
It does, it's got an ag home site and 154 of those acres are in the land.
Okay. And then home site for 1 acre, you're showing a value of 88,000.
76 and then the well and septic at 14. Yeah, so it does come into 80.
Okay.
And the home value went from 474 to 899.
Can you chalk the house size?
Yeah.
Total dwelling site, livable finished is 7,185.
How many?
7,185 finished.
Oh, I know what house it is.
There is a basement, main floor, and an upper floor.
Okay.
So it's in as a two-story.
Okay.
We have it in as above average.
All right. With that
And
being,
about 1890, it's about 70% of the basement's finished, is what we've got record of.
and that's 7,000 finished square feet.
Yeah, it's more than that if you're looking at total square feet, but finished is 7,185. It's 8,144 total square feet.
So you're giving it a square footage price at just under $100 a foot, or
This
just
is
over
one of
$100,
those
110?
I'm sorry, I just noticed it was sketched in February of this year. I guess it was when it was,
Before this, it
Just recently
had never
sketched.
been sketched.
yeah.
Have you shown, has there been, they're showing roof failure and corrections. Was there anything made on that, or was there condition cost of cure given to it?
I'm just looking here real quick to see.
The insurance company insurance the house for 575.
We don't have any record of that information.
Okay. I mean, they're showing some roof repairs, they're showing some other water damage, basic stuff. I can't see, you know, what the condition of the house was rated at, but the issue that I keep coming back is a 7,000 square foot finished house that I get, but 100, I mean, you're about 110 a foot, 105 a foot. I don't see,
Just cheap.
that's one of the, I mean, even in the big houses goes, and I understand that we have an argument, the discussion of size, but at the same time, it's still, I don't see where it goes.
Take a motion?
Yep.
Go for it.
I will move on property, oh, excuse me. On property, RPR 38510214001, that the assessed value be upheld. There's a motion on the floor. Any further discussion or any other motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next property. Let's see, that would be parcel ending in 2300.
1161 Wilson.
Yep.
So this one is an 87,000 square foot distribution warehouse. And when we converted it in for 2022, it experienced a pretty large jump in value. When we spoke with the appellant in person about it, one of the things that immediately stood out to them was the year built. Our records indicated it was built in 1998, And they said that there was a portion of it that completed in 98, but there were other portions of it that were much older. So we did some digging through our historical records, and we found an actual drawing from 40 years ago that labeled when each portion of that building was constructed. So when we put all of that in there to give that additional weighting, it gave us an overall effective age for the entire building of 1990, and that actually would lower the improvement value down to $1,423,881 for a total assessed value of $1,695,581, and that would be our recommendation, is to lower it to that.
Mr. Chair, on parcel RPRPYHA002300, make a motion that we adjust the value down per the assessor's recommendation to $1,695,581.
There's a motion on the floor. Any further discussion or any other motions? All in favor? Aye.
Next one ends in 1402.
Yep. Who has that one?
Got that one.
8055
Small house
Prospector.
next to the original one we did. We couldn't find, their adjustment we did make was to the land there. They have 5 acres and 4 of it's in as ag, and then they've got the 1 acre home site. With the adjustments that we made, though, the total value went from 682,956 down to 666,526.
666,526.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, on parcel
Number of the beast.
RPR 385-102-1401, I make a motion that we adjust the value of the property with it coming off of the land value down to the total property value is 666,526.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor. Further discussion? Any other motions? All in favor? Aye. Okay.
I was trying to think of something humorous to say there, but I couldn't. So just trying to keep it real.
Yeah, that was off the land.
Yeah, off the land. Sorry, Nancy. This one.
You said it, I just wanted to make sure.
Okay. This one ends in 902, 5902.
That's one of mine. So this property is located at 5943 South 5th, Pocatello. It's a commercial piece of land. It has a building on it that it looks like it was originally built as a home. It has been leased in the past both as business, for an office, as a home. Currently, it's being lived in. It's being rented out. The appellant had concerns over having any value on the property, on the building. They said that they intend to tear it down in a year or two, and they have a hard time seeing it being taxed when they're going to tear it down, maybe.
Is it currently leased?
Currently leased and lived in. And so when we looked at it, looking at it from a standpoint of it is being leased, there are some legitimate concerns on the condition of the property that the appellant had. And so we looked everything over. And the improvement itself had a base value of about $173,000. When we accounted for the current condition, it lowered that, just the improvement value, down to $106,999. And so when we looked at overall the entire property, the land itself did not make it into the conversion to the land schedule for commercial out there. Had we caught this one, the land itself would have been at $280,000. So we couldn't find any opportunity to make a legitimate adjustment to it below where it was at.
So did they give you a because they're showing they don't want to pay any tax on the improvement at all? Can we show? Did they give you a lease value then of what they're leasing, a monthly square foot lease or an apartment
No.
lease? Okay. I mean, you're making money off of it and you're claiming it's not worth anything, and yet you're
But you're leasing.
leasing it for money. So I don't buy that argument.
Mr. Chair, parcel RP R4013005902, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
Okay. There's a motion on the floor. Any further discussion or any other motions at this time? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Let's see, where's the next one? Let's see here. We are now on to two parcels, 5,000 and 5,100, is that correct? My computer keeps
They're both
shutting down.
parcels of the
Mine's
ranch.
not liking this right now.
Yeah, mine's not liking it either.
Okay. They're both 5-acre parcels, bare land sales of Lava Ranch. They're
Okay,
both valued at $64,980, which we found is some of the lowest values up there. Most of them are between the high 80s to 100 and up to 190, just for bare land.
okay.
They're all 5-acre lots, give or take a little.
So the appellant's claiming that one of the lots is not feasible to access because of the steepness of grade, creek to cross, and the road can't work with the switchbacks. And so they're claiming that they should actually be valued because they're contiguous parcels together, that they should just be valued as one 10-acre parcel.
They are, both parcels are together.
So, I mean, their argument is that they're actually, the one parcel's only useful because you can only access it through the other parcel. Is that,
They are currently valued separately because they both have access to the road. According to pictometry, but that is something you can look into. As they've gone up there and were reviewed, you can access both from the road, but
okay,
they are on grade there.
okay. I mean, I don't have anything that was submitted. I mean, I understand there's probably steepness and other issues to it, but I don't have anything other than just, that's all they've said, so I don't have anything of pictures or evidence to go off of.
Okay, my computer just came up, so I won't argue with you. So we are at what?
The two parcels, 5,100 and 5,000. Here, I'll do it.
Okay.
Parcel RPR RLR 300 5,000 and parcel RPRRLR 3005100. That those values be upheld at this time. There is a motion on the floor. Is there further discussion? Is there any other motions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next parcel. This thing's so big that my computer's having problems with all the imagery.
Yep.
Okay,
This
there's,
is parcel ending 7200.
okay, this one is address 141 Jefferson. It was assessed at 192,610, correct?
It is.
And opinion of market is 100, or of the homeowner or the owner is 168,315. What do we got?
On those, when we looked over, couldn't find any adjustments to the value, anything incorrect.
Lots, land's valued at 37, the improvements at 155.
And the house is in as a fair, 1935. On our end, we could find no adjustments to be made there.
What's the pleasure of the board?
I'm looking at his comps that he's showing. I can't see a reason really to change it.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, on parcel FRV 007200, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All right. Next parcel then would be parcel RPRPFRV 007200.
Didn't we just do that?
Oh,
Yeah, we
excuse me,
just did
sorry.
that one.
That's, my computer keeps,
Should be ending in 1900.
oh, 1900, sorry. They look almost identical on that. All right. Do we show any finish in the basement? As the basement has no egress windows and it cannot be rented as such.
It's zero finish, yeah.
Okay. So that's already been accounted for in the,
It looks like the appraiser was spoke with and was able to go through it, and they do have pics of the house and made some adjustments to it.
What's that recommendation?
So the value is 162,178.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, 162,178. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPGV 001900, I make a motion that we adjust the value per the assessor's recommendation to 162,178.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there further discussion? Is there any other motion? All in favor? Aye. All right, next parcel then would be,
3901. This will be Jason's.
This is a property located at 415 Yellowstone Avenue. It's roughly an 11,000 square foot commercial space. The appellant's concerns were the adjustment to the land value, and this is one of the properties on Yellowstone that when we converted it this year, we placed it on a commercial land schedule so that it had equity with all of the other commercial parcels on there. And so where it is in at the equitable rate with all those other properties, we didn't find any opportunities to make an adjustment there.
okay.
Just gonna look at something real quick. Give me 1 second, unless you have something.
I don't have anything if we're looking at it. They said that there's been bare ground sales on Yellowstone. Has there been bare
They
land sales
were
on Yellowstone?
in the North Chubbuck area.
Oh, okay. So not at location of where this is at.
No, and even when we considered the sale, we actually have the sale of this parcel, but it is 3 years old. But back in 19, it sold for $900,000. So when we look at the small but steady increases in commercial, we still feel that this is definitely within market value.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, on parcel RPCPP 073901, I make a motion that we uphold the assessed value.
All right, there's a motion on the floor. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, next parcel. Let's see here.
Ends in 4,000.
Yep.
Cabin on Sawmill Creek in Ingham.
No developed water system or well. That should be valued no more than 90,000. There's a 35% increase on that. Is there a change of why that? I mean,
No inter access.
Yeah, we have noted in here, this is actually one that Jason put in that.
you want to have it bring it down, brings the value down to 128,862. That's your recommendation.
On this one, that's fine. I'm seeing something different, so that's.
What do you?
What are you seeing?
Verify that I've got it in my house. They did put in a functional depreciation for the fact that there's no access to electricity and some access issues. But that only, the changes here recently were made on the building itself, which brought it down to 158 to 11
What's the?
total.
So Jason, you had an email that showed this brings property that was dated
June 22nd.
June 22nd that says, hey,
Of 2021.
Randy and I just completed, oh, that's 2021?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
That's one these notes were from too.
I was sitting here looking through this as fast as I can, trying to find a date on it. All right. Okay. Pleasure of the board.
What are you thinking? Put it last year's or are you gonna stay with the 160?
I'd leave it at last year's. This is a weird property that has no, it's a cabin, it has stuff, it has weird things. Yeah.
So we'll return it to last year's value of 128,868.
Yeah.
Okay. Mr. Chair, on parcel RPR 384900400, make a motion that we return it to last year's value of 128,868.
All right, there is a motion on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that should be the last of the properties then?
For Go LLC, yes.
Okay. All right, we'll go ahead and finish there. Jason, Terry Jensen is in the back of the room. We actually hit yours right at 10 when everybody else was there, so we finished it right before you. I'd have you have a discussion with Anita. If you guys want to fill in what we're doing, we're getting prepped to go into the next one. We're stacked, and that's what we're dealing with so far.
They told us to be here at 11.
Yeah, you were set at in the 10 o'clock hour.
The email I got told us to be here at 11.
Okay. Hold on one second. Let's, if we got that.
That's why I came.
Yeah, you had, that's why I was wondering, because normally anytime I've ever seen you listed on something, you're always bright and shiny. I was about ready to call your son and ask if he'd seen his mother anywhere. Do we care to, hold on one second.
What do we do on that one? I can't remember.
That was the one, that's the South Fifth one that had flat land value as a land contestation. I mean, we can, especially if the appellant has opinion of value and other things to give, where this is where an opinion is valued as understanding what the person in the background. We can't open it back. We can hold it where it sits. We haven't closed the Board of Equalization, so therefore we can go back to it at any time.
I'm willing to have them come up and.
All right. If you guys want to come forward right quick, we'll go ahead and have Nancy swear you in.
Because evidently, obviously, there's a miscommunication.
Yes, if there's miscommunication or something, let's go through and have it. We'll have Nancy go ahead and swear you guys in.
I did make copies, but I live in Fish Haven now.
So,
and
yep.
I didn't have 3 business days to get them here.
And we don't have them, but you can talk off of them, okay?
Okay.
We won't accept, just talk off of them and explain it of what's going on. Nancy, if you go ahead and swear them in.
Stand and raise your right hand.
Do
Stand
we
up.
need to stand?
Do you solemnly swear that any testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to suspend reading the entire rules, as you're probably very familiar with this process. We're here to discuss the current market value of the given taxable year, and we're sticking to the facts. The facts, and we take the facts and not opinion. If you have opinion to give in this one, understanding your background, if you would state your background of why your opinion should be considered as fact, that would probably have some relevance on that. I'll give you, we typically go 3 minutes at a time, back and forth, direct all questions to the board. And if you want to go ahead and start, we'll let you go from there. Introduce yourself as you go.
My name is Terry Jensen. I live at 362 Lewis Loop in Fish Haven, Idaho. This is in reference to a property at 6150 South 5th that my father and I are listed on the deed. My husband and my son built a building on that property, gosh, almost 20 years ago now, 10 years concept. And my father is 92 and didn't want to deal with separating the land, so we just added me to the deed. When I got the assessment on the building, it went up, but I thought it was reasonable. The land I was surprised at, so because I'm a real estate broker, I just picked up everything that had more than an acre in the south of Pocatello that had sold in the last 2 years, and I came up with a value of land at $41,000 an acre, which is substantially lower than the 400 and some thousand that they assessed it at. And I figured the land should be worth, according to those numbers, $205,000, but the old assessments, I think even a little more than that. I think this land got assessed high because we did this building at the same time they did the jail, and they had paid a lot of money for the ground at the jail. And so all of the properties on South Fifth had an extremely high valuation at that time. But I just felt like the land value was kind of out of whack with sales over the last 2 years of similar properties.
Okay, some questions for myself. I'm going to stop this because I think we're good. So the land, it borders South Fifth, correct? It has access to from there. It's not back up off the backside. It's not right there. Is the land flat in the lava rocks? Does it have there's been some discussion in the past on some of these parcels out there that have been made adjustments to. and given consideration in sales because you're going to tear off all the lava rocks or have to go into the lava rocks to run plumbing and all that. Is that like this, or that would be the...
From building the building originally 10 years ago, we had only dirt, but we had a crawl space in that building, so we only dug 3 feet.
So you didn't go deep?
Yeah, but there's lava rock underneath all of that out there, and
Yeah.
it's just not surface lava.
Okay, all right. So you're stating then that you think that, so the assessors earlier, actually, I'll just have the assessors go back and what we were discussing earlier.
Yeah, so when we took a look at all of the commercial land out there, we have established a commercial land schedule to bring all of the commercial properties into equity. So all of these we have valued at a rough $2 a square foot. The problem that we had, and why we weren't able to consider the appellant's land sales is all of those properties we were showing as being residential, and we show this property as being commercial. We did have a commercial land sale a ways down the street from this one at $264 a square foot, and then we've also received some verbal reports of rates of $2 a square foot for a few parcels down from the subject property. So from what we're seeing, we are comfortable, saying that $2 a square foot does appear to be the market rate for commercial bare land on South Fifth.
Okay. You have questions on that? I mean, that's kind of what, as we've been looking at this, that's kind of where we were looking on South Fifth, is it's kind of been that flat rate in the commercial ground only, not as we're talking residential. So, questions back to the assessor's table or anything that way?
Well, this is a conditional use permit for institutional housing, which is a residential use. And it was my understanding when we did this project, it wasn't zoned commercial at the time, it was zoned
Multi-use?
multi-use. So I'm not real sure where the zoning went on it, but it is just a fourplex that houses institutionalized tenants. It's
Okay.
just a fourplex. But I don't have a problem with the building, it's the value of the land. And I
Okay.
don't know. I didn't know why they came up with, because it's like a 100% increase
Yeah.
in value from what it was. It was a huge increase.
Okay. Assessors, anything else?
No.
Can that land be subdivided again in a commercial setting, because it's a conditional use permit then?
It could be. At this point, my father does not want to do anything with it. We are trying, because he's got dementia, we're trying to get the front piece divided off, because if he has to go into assisted living, they make him sign over all of his assets.
Yes.
If he's to go to the VA. And so we didn't want the building to get assigned over, so we are in the process of just trying to do, but we have no intention of doing anything with it until he doesn't want to do anything with it right now. So could it be? Well, yeah, anything can happen, but
Okay. So the discussion is then, is that if you go through in a conditional use permit, I thought this was just a regular commercial property. But if you had to zone it as a conditional use permit, and is there currently a conditional use permit you have to report on then?
yes,
So if use changes, you'd have to report it to the county.
yes.
So that's why you have this weird, because you use it as residence, don't you?
Yes.
And you're not allowed to use residence in the mix. And that's why you have a conditional use permit to allow for residence in that area.
And because they're
Got it.
institutionalized, they had to be, it was hard to find a piece of property for this building because they have to be so many distances from a school, so many distances, but it is housing. It's just a fourplex with a covered center part.
Meet them in the middle of $1.50 a foot. I'll meet you in the middle. You have a compelling argument. They have a good argument. They're selling stuff. You're going to watch commercial property out there go for at least $2 a foot, probably. But with the conditional use permit and what is restricted on this until there's a division of the ground, I have no problem with saying it, with holding it at $1.50 a foot. So I will make a motion on parcel RPR 401-300-6000 that the land value be set at $1.50 a foot, which I'm horrible at math right now because my calculator just shut down. And then
We got 4.9 acres.
4.92 acres.
Let's see.
So
1.5.
42, what is it, 42,400 an acre?
43,560. 3,560. So that puts us at 65,630 times 4.92. 321,472 is what my math says. Anybody want to double check me?
Sounds good to me.
I said please.
That sounds, I'll move, that, what was that value?
321,472.
That the land value be set at 321,472. There's a motion on the floor. Is there further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
If you change the use on it, just be ready.
Yeah. for
So,
sure.
and please go build something else on it. Thank you. Have a good day. All right, I'm gonna Yep, I'm gonna stand us at recess for just a couple minutes while we get reset. We had some shuffling around.